My stream has already been backed up. Refresh if you are listening to me and you can't hear me. That was very oxymoronic. I would like to apologize. Right away, we have a bit of a long 1-1. No items so far either. But we have about the same time going down 1-2. Immediate blood drop on 1-2. Slimo and Paratroopa will both opt to do the same thing, going down in a dangerous half a heart. There is an urn as well, and there is definitely means here to destroy the urn. But Slimo will just knock it down to Trapper right away. Slimo will miss out on a cheese. That is pretty huge. Gonna have to remain on half a heart, which is very, very dangerous when racing. In speedrunning, it should be fine, because you do want to run down to the wire at times. And Slimo swapping off to Old Faithful here. A good weapon pickup, but it's a shame to see them go down low, such low health. For something that they aren't even able to use. Paratroopa taking a harder hit, but will still be alive thanks to that cheese. Cheese already coming into play. We're about neck and neck with equal build, except Paratroopa has 3 times more health, which still isn't a lot, all things considered. Nonetheless, Paratroopa and Slimo both fighting Korriff in the standard manner. Slimo checking purple, and it will not pay out. Getting a shield scroll, which is useful. And we have a pretty far away exit here. A lot of digging required, but no tier 2 walls. No tier 2 walls to look out for here. Paratroopa checking red. It will be great. It will be Torch of Walls. So Paratroopa having the build advantage here. The shop is also great. Paratroopa will be able to screen watch and find that out. But Paratroopa will pass up on the shovel. Don't know why you do that. I'm saving the money for something else possibly. A titanium shovel is very helpful to have. You can get stuck behind a bunch of tier 2 walls. Slimo taking a big hit, going down back to half a heart. Picking up heal spell, being able to take a few hits here and there, but goes back down to half a heart. Which still is a precarious situation. Slimo popping the Shrine of Darkness, and Paratroopa opting to do something else, hitting the boss shrine instead. And has the choice between Bomb Charm and War here, and chooses to take Bomb Charm. Already is at the 3 damage threshold, does not really need to take War. Slimo bombing out the throne, and we'll have a flawless King Konga fight. Paratroopa falling very shortly behind. Will opt to do the same thing, has bigger bombs, so didn't need to walk up that close, but that's pretty much only a beat waste. And Slimo already finding a ring swap. It's not the best ring in the world, but any ring swap right now is a good thing. Besides Becoming. We've already seen Becoming though. And Slimo has the build advantage here, actually. I would say. That darkness is extremely strong in wanting to go fast. The damage is a bit of an issue, but Paratroopa not only does not have darkness. The surprise Minotaur on Slimo's side going down. It's all on Paratroopa now to finish this off. Slimo is someone who is able to catch up here though, so it's not all over. Paratroopa definitely still needs to continue the pace, but very shameful, very sad to see surprise Minotaurs like that, 1v reactions. Just thinking about pushing forward, but not being prepared for getting wiped out in a single hit. A bit of a slip and slide situation on Paratroopa's end. They're definitely taking more time now that they see that Slimo has died. Checking tier 3 walls, never the food shop. So, Slimo having a lot in his hands. Just all of it taken away by a single Minotaur, which sometimes can happen. Those things hit really hard, which is why Quartz Armor Guys, quartz armor is not fake armor. So Paratroopa having a solid 3 damage. Definitely a pretty decent spot to be in. Could have gotten the Leprechaun there by standing still, but likely wasn't prepared to see that gold become 50. Because I wouldn't have been either. We have a longsword, pretty standard deep blues for Paratroopa. Using the range of the longsword to sometimes hit 2 enemies, pretty efficient. But also being able to keep more than enough space behind them to back up. Paratroopa finding Fireball in purple, utilizing the monocle to make that decision on which chest to take. Torch of Balls for Slimo as well. Though, if picking up Darkness, that torch will go away anyways. But for now, it's nice to have mapping in the meantime. Paratroopa utilizing Old Faithful with an additional damage up to really easily work through Zone 4 here so far. Taking extra time, kill off enemies that they don't need to, but they do not need to go. They do not need to save that time either, so reasonable choices here to go at a decent pace. Definitely not going full slow play, but definitely not going as fast as they can. Somewhere in between. Definitely leaning towards the slow play side, which is definitely what you need to do right now, given your opponent is only just exiting Zone 2. Solid use of the Warlock there to transverse the goo. And on to 4-3, Paratroopa taking a very commanding lead after Zone 3 death from Slimo. And there's an excellent ring. We'll have to go under the Necrodancer bomb threshold. But actually has giant bombs. Actually won't. Keep forgetting about that when commentating. Paratroopa finding a map. We'll pass up on the map. I mean, the map could still be helpful even if you have Torch of Walls, especially given it only costs 100. But this is pretty janky with these wind statues here on Paratroopa's end. Slimo, meanwhile, making their way back to where they died on 3-3, going down to deep blues, about a zone behind. Very fruitful in the run back, but it definitely won't be enough if Paratroopa keeps the speed up. It isn't even that fast, but suffering such a late death will put you pretty far behind. A pretty severe disadvantage. Yeah, a Gigantism Scroll for Paratroopa. We'll just use it immediately. For additional damage, it seems. Won't be much more utility out of it, but better than just leaving the Gigantism off the floor, possibly. Two hits on Paratroopa's Heavy Glass. Not the best. Not the best. Having a glass bib going into Dead Ringer. Or 5-3 even. Oh, bib is gone. Paratroopa not having anything in terms of protection. But should it be pretty straightforward? Can definitely opt to do lures. Their opponent is only in 4-2. Having a bit of the time with bats in 4-2, actually. But it will be a right side spawn. Paratroopa opting for the fast left side scoots. We have a double rider spawn! This is dangerous! Oh, Paratroopa taking a massive hit from Dead Ringer. Needs to use the holy water. And Slimo goes down! Definitely not the time to go down. However, managing to wipe out the mini-bosses completely. And heal up to full. With very good holy water use. Managing to get that Dead Ringer back on track. Has 2 bombs. Does not need to do any butt puzzles. 2 massive bombs. And on to the second phase of the Necrodancer. Looking to finish this off. Taking a loot over Slimo here. And there it is. Final hit on Necrodancer. Decent amount of slow play coming in. Not full slow play, but definitely a decent amount with a race from time of 11:17. Definitely on the slower end for Titanium, but given their opponent died, it is to be expected to be that way. Luck to both racers as we go on to the next seed. 89 260 295. We are off on the second siege. Slimo putting up a show. Putting up the pace, making Paratroopa being forced to keep that pace, but Paratroopa definitely is able to. But Slimo will fall behind early. There is a tier 2 cracked wall that is likely worth checking here, that your opponent will not be able to check, given they jump down immediately to zone 2. Paratroopa taking a big hit. There is Crown of Thorns. Very good very good headgear to pick up early on. There's also a Shrine of Sacrifice. Slimo will kill the Glass Shopkeeper for these glass items here. And that is a blood shop for Paratroopa. And Slimo leaving behind the glass jaw, perfectly reasonable to do so. That thing gets you killed in one hit. Paratroopa not using the bomb to check the blood shop. It is fair, because pretty much the only choice they would have would be to risk throwing, given their health situation is not doing too well. But there is such a good weapon inside of the blood shop, and Slimo will pick that up. Paratroopa stuck on the Space Dagger for now. That is worth risking a kill for. We got up shop, bro. Interesting placement for Slimo here. A lot of tier 3 walls in this 1-2 layout. And Paratroopa will be the first one to King Konga 1. Will just take a hit from a black skeleton. However, knows about that titanium rapier. It might not be all too bad to just take a death there, to be able to pick the titanium rapier up, given how important this weapon can end up being. But there's free move dig inside the crate. Knock down both of these racers' trapdoors. Slimo will just run up to Konga, using move dig and glass shovel to take Konga to his next phase. Very likely gonna check purple here. And it is a heal spell, an excellent spell to pick up. Allows you to make a lot of mistakes, and Slimo is set up to go pretty fast here. A bit more safety would definitely be nice, but has most of the makings of a great speedy build already. We have Move Dig, we have a very fast weapon. Pretty much just need everything else. Which isn't much compared to the importance of these two things. Such as armor and a bit more safety. And speaking of safety, Slimo will find a free potion. There is an urn as well. Doesn't really have a way to crack it open. He's just gonna leave it behind. Might be worthwhile peeking around a bit more, but continuing to apply pressure to Paratroopa. Definitely a very fast build. Has one hit of glass to fall back upon, but not much more than that. Paratroopa not having anything to get King Kong out early. We have rapier shots for Slimo. Slimo is putting up the pace here. We have courage as well. A good ring for speed. If the racer is comfortable with it, it can get a bit awkward with rapier. Especially you don't expect to go that far sometimes. An excellent torch for Slimo here. They are swapping off to Spear. I do not agree with that. I do not agree with that at all. If you're gonna take courage with rapier, you're gonna keep it. Might not be comfortable with courage. Could have been an accidental take, but get comfortable with courage. I say that even though I am definitely not comfortable with myself, and I definitely need to work on that. Slimo needs to use iframes here and courage to escape this horrible situation, quaffing the potion. Courage, definitely a very bad pickup for Slimo here, not being able to play comfortably anymore. It's a huge, huge issue. That courage pickup could have been a huge mistake here. Yeah, spending way more time without the rapier. Definitely comfort with rapier was playing very well, but now it's just making mistakes left and right. Backing up and then getting swarmed and all kind of bad things. Just overall horrible for Slimo. I don't understand leaving the titanium rapier behind, even if you aren't comfortable with it. And Paratroopa also leaving it behind. I don't get it. It could be a thing with courage, but why take courage if you're gonna leave behind rapier then? That thing will do a lot of work for you. Like, courage is great, but if you have to give up titanium rapier to use courage, it's not worth it. And again, these guys are the ones that are racing, and not me. Slimo, looking to expand this gap as much as he can. Taking so much time. I feel like just not taking courage at all. Courage is fast, but if it slows you down this much, it's not fast anymore. The entire point of picking it up is to go faster. Slimo nicely dodging an ogre hit here. Paratroopa is right on his heels. With pretty much an identical build, just lacking the potion on Slimo's end. So, keeping their health high up. Sky high. Pretty nasty room on Slimo's end, and will bounce trap right into the spike trap. Needs to be careful here. Can easily get taken out of this race. Taking a hit from a Golem. I absolutely can point this to being uncomfortable with courage. Don't understand the courage take. If you have to give up titanium rapier for it, what is the point? Meanwhile, on Paratroopa's side, this move dig is opening way too much. An absolute army of Blade Masters incoming. But they are backing up all the way after seeing that Slimo has died. Yeah, I don't like the courage take. Paratroopa seems to be handling courage a bit better, but both these races might just be better off taking rapier alone. Which is very weird. Courage usually you see racers make up so much time with courage, but it's just acquiring so many mistakes on both ends instead of just being a straightforward rapier, which is definitely comparable to Titanium Spear with courage. Rapier might even be better because you have the damaged lunges. And in terms of comfort, rapier is definitely going to be more comfortable for both of these racers. So, bad decision making in my opinion. Slimo getting fair and balanced, forcing him to take a hit, but at this point Paratroopa has such a big lead, it isn't going to mean much. Still has a potion as well, very much has this under control. Knows when and where to slow play. And Slimo goes down once more in the Zone 1 trapdoor. Slimo definitely having the chance to take these, showing off that he's a faster racer, but ultimately dying. Suffering some deaths from trying to push a bit too hard outside of his limit, in my opinion. But a lot of that, Slimo definitely would have been comfortable enough to push with the Titanium Rapier. I really don't understand why both of these racers made that decision. Very, very odd. If you're gonna take courage, might as well commit to it. Why would you leave such a good weapon behind? Might as well not take courage then. It makes no sense. Courage isn't gonna do you one more damage up like in the vanilla game. It's just gonna give you the ability to have courage kills. I'm absolutely confused. And a little bit disappointed in that decision. If you're gonna take courage, use it. Don't be scared of it. If you're scared of it, just don't take it. Unless this is a race. This is in fact a race. If you don't want to do things you are not absolutely comfortable with, usually. Unless you're in a desperate situation. Which both of these races weren't. I really don't understand the choice. Really, really don't. But, nonetheless, I think it's more on Slimo. Paratroopa has been more or less handling the courage much, much better. So I don't really disagree with Paratroopa making that decision. But Slimo making that decision seems just to be a pretty big mistake that might cost them this point. Paratroopa moving on to 5-3. Slimo is still rolling around in Zone 1. Picking up that Crown of Thorns we saw earlier, but there's also Move Dig. Might just want to keep this Crown of Thorns. Oh, Paratroopa is in 5-3. That Move Dig definitely isn't gonna let you catch up. You have Snow Bro for Paratroopa. I say take that Ring of Mana. Take it. Paratroopa not taking Ring of Mana. Okay, take it. Good. Why would you heal before taking the ring? What? Going back for the Ring of Courage? I don't understand. We have an army of familiars though on Paratroopa's end, which is pretty neat to see always. Paratroopa definitely more comfortable with courage. Using it decently, but is it worth putting the rapier behind for? Paratroopa thinks so, but I still disagree for both of these racers. We have left side spawns. Looks like it is Japanese strats for Paratroopa. Has Bomb Spell, but likely wants to save that for the Necrodancer fight, and they will have a flawless victory using Japanese strats. Checking red for a hope at some kind of bomb item. But ultimately, they will have to use blood magic or do the butt puzzles here. Given their health pool, blood magic is not the worst option in the world, because the less time you spend on the Necrodancer fight, the less chances you of having your health whittle down are. But with this much health, pretty much just need to worry about Dorian and nothing else. Obviously finishing the run, but mostly about protecting Dorian. And we have a bomb coming out for Paratroopa. Pretty nasty final butt puzzle there. Luckily they would not need to do that with their current set of spells. But Cadence with a massive amount of health to work with. Lacking protection, but having a lot of health is protection in of itself. A good dodge out of Dorian there to avoid the Necro Bomb. And there it is, the final hit on the Necrodancer. Two very slow for Titanium, but it's pretty much only because the slow play has been activated. Given your opponent has had a late deaths. But really, some questionable decision making, definitely debatable. Both sides are insane. I mean, both sides are sane in terms of having arguments that can support both of them. But I'm just gonna put my opinion out there and just gonna say that that courage take is wrong. More so for Slimo than for Paratroopa. As I say, if you're gonna take courage, you have to commit to it. Both of these racers did mention, Slimo mentioning that he's not comfortable with the courage, then why take it? This is pretty frustrating. Maybe he doesn't want to go on the back foot for your opponent, but if you're doing something uncomfortable just to match with your opponent, you should just weigh how comfortable with it. And if not, just grind it until you are comfortable with it. Because more often than not, if you're doing something uncomfortable, it's gonna cost more time than it's gonna save, even if it's something extremely fast. There are definite exceptions to that. There's some things that just save too much time. For you not to get comfortable with, really. I think that's the bigger thing. Is get comfortable with things that you might need during races rather than get comfortable with things while racing. But we have big digs coming out for both racers. This is a base 3 damage. Any base weapon would work. We have up dub. Very, very interesting. Dub placement. Slimo's just placing all of their familiars up, it seems. Not caring. We also have Move Dig and Pulse. But Slimo taking neither of those? Okay. That, as I said, base weapons are fine. Definitely still a very good build. Taking Move Dig will move you out of that 3 damage threshold on every single weapon. And 3 damage Cutlass is not bad at all. Can definitely make up the time not having Move Dig or Pulse. Issue is they would have to keep on the Spring and Shovel. Otherwise their build starts to be significantly weaker. So locking in their Shovel and Ring. Paratroopa doing the same thing. Paratroopa doing a bit more building, finding a potion, which is extremely valuable for Slimo, probably. Even Slimo is someone that utilizes health pretty efficiently. So, just having a potion in the pocket would be a great thing to have. Sadly not being able to pick that up. Going down to half a heart. Very dangerous. Not ready for that particle-less mushroom, it seems. Slimo, spending time to build up a bit more. There's a black chest, possible armor, or some kind of better weapon. What are they killing for? They're killing for heavy plate. This is a kill to keep them in the game for now, but it could cost them severely later. But at this point, staying in the game now might be the most important thing. And there is a heal spell on Paratroopa as well that Slimo won't pick up. Massive difference in terms of safety, in terms of regeneration safety. Regeneration isn't just safety, it's also allows you to play much more aggressive with your health. So huge deficit already for Slimo. Only has heavy glass to protect them, they just need to make sure not to take too many hits. Or find some kind of healing and armor before they take 3 hits. Because otherwise it gets very uncomfortable once more. Paratroopa is going to be able to catch up, and I am definitely seeing Paratroopa taking this 3-0 here with the build deficit. Yeah, Slimo doing a good job at keeping this heavy glass alive, though. They have to hang on to it, definitely. It is their current lifeline. So, doing away with it could be pretty severe. And we have deep blues for Slimo. First one down. Still haven't taken any hits. Being careful to make sure they're keeping this lifeline alive. The kill seems to have been worth it. Heavy glass is allowing them to play much more confidently than if they were on one hit away from death. Definitely needs something to bolster this build though. Going down to 2 damage for piercing. Very likely will be worth it in the end though. Very tempting take on the glass cutlass there. Can just fully commit to glass. That wouldn't be a bad choice. That definitely won't be a bad choice. It's a risky play, but you're already on some risky coals here. That's not a saying at all, but you're already taking on a lot of risk. Don't have a riskometer on my stream, but there's definitely some risk happening. It's very much reasonable risk though. It's risk within reason. And a ham for Paratroopa that Slimo also won't get. However, Slimo is up to 3 damage. Sunglasses can be scary though, especially if you can only take a limited amount of hits. That confuse is huge for Slimo. Taking 2 hits off of that heavy glass. And Paratroopa managing to snag up some armor and some additional regeneration. It's looking like Paratroopa has a build, but Slimo is just pushing with what they got. Which is not much, I have to admit. But piercing already putting in a lot of work for Slimo, not needing to worry about sunglasses blocking out how to deal with specific enemies and whatever. Just hit them. Needs to worry about goo a bit here, but it will be fine. Slimo is down to the Zone 4 boss, which will be King Konga 4. Only running on 1 bib of heavy glass and half a heart, so needs to conserve as much health as they can as Paratroopa has caught up, utilizing their additional tools, their better build, to catch up to this piercing here. But Paratroopa taking a lot of hits here. Having a bit of trouble with King Konga, will spend a bit of extra time. Very scary situation for Slimo, and they definitely know it. still doing a great job of managing their health. Save for that one situation with the Confuse. Running into enemies twice. Made all the worse with the sunglasses. A bit harder. Just every additional layer you have to think about is just gonna add lag to your decisions and it's gonna make you do worse. Make worse choices every beat. Slimo going down to Dead Ringer. Just a bib. And half a heart. Pretty much this entire run. Can't really see Dead Ringer here, but we got Oblivion gone off the rails. This is very, very bad for Slimo, giving Paratroopa the chance to catch up. Paratroopa down to Dead Ringer. You cannot do Oblivion if you start up the middle, but Slimo manages to flawless Dead Ringer as Paratroopa does. Japanese strats. Japanese strats goes a bit off for Paratroopa as well, so we have two. We have two off the rails Dead Ringers here, but both racers are very much managing this Dead Ringer very finely. Very good Dead Ringer. A bit of ping ponger will cost Paratroopa some very valuable time here as Slimo onto the first hit of the Necrodancer. Still has the glass bib going. Very good kill. I take everything back. This heavy blast allowing Slimo to keep themselves in the race. Oh, bombing Dorian though on the last hit. Slimo right on the edge of death for both characters. Will manage to take 1 point off with an actual race. With a time of 9:20, by far the fastest time in this race, showing how much slow play gets activated when Slimo dies, which was pretty much the deciding factor here, if Slimo died or if Slimo lived. And really, in the third seed, that could have gone either way.